Dubious ones, welcome back to the channel for another WWE 2k24 video. Today we're going to talk about why I think Showcase needs to change. Showcase mode as a whole needs to change, but before we get to that, I got to remind you guys all to make sure you're subscribed to the channel as we are giving away 3 copies of WWE2k24 on March the 31st if we're able to get to 2,000 subscribers by the 31st. So make sure you're sub to the channel, share the video with your friends, leave a like on the video, and comment your feedback down below. Now let's get into it. Now, first of all, I want to touch on some of my pain points. Some of the pain points I have with WWE 2K24 Showcase mode. First of all, it's become mandatory. And that's one thing that I really don't like. If you want your superstars and arenas, you're forced to go into this 4 to 6 hour long slog. And I do not like it being mandatory. Even if you get the 40 years of WrestleMania Edition to get all the arenas, you still have to play through the mode, and I don't like that. Every year, another pain point is every year without fail, touching on that is because some players will experience a save file corruption. Sometimes it'll happen more than once in the lifespan of the game. I know it's happened to me in years past. It's already started happening to players in 2K24, and I'm sorry if this has happened to you. But with the save file corruption problem, if that happens to you, then you lose your progression, and if you've completed the showcase mode, you have to do it all over again. And again, it's a 4 to 6 hour slog. It's not a fun mode. It's not fun to play, and that's just inexcusable. There has to be another way to just be able to unlock everything and have it so if your save file corrupts, yes, you can download your stuff from Community Creations, get some of your stuff back, but you're going to be locked on the showcase stuff, whether it's wrestlers, attires, or any Community Creations that has anything to do with that stuff. So again, that is a huge pain point for me. Another one is the fact that it's just not fun. It forces a tutorial into the game when the Performance Center exists this year, and that does it 1,000 times better. If you've seen my video on the Performance Center, I think it's a fantastic onboarding for players into this game mode. I think it made a huge difference. It's way better than it's ever been, and I'm really disappointed that they have that amazing tutorial and onboarding for new players, yet the showcase is still forcing you into a lame tutorial mode that doesn't even always correctly tell you what the objective is. It feels really dated. That is another huge pain point for me. This mode just as a whole feels dated. It really forces players into a box with how to play with each wrestler. And lastly, a side note to that is who opted, A, to prevent the ramp camera from being used in the mode at all, as we would like to see the stages of these WrestleManias. We would love to see them showcased. This gives you a chance to go through all these different WrestleManias, and we can't use the ramp camera in the mode. At least from when I played it, I always had it saved as ramp camera. I went into the options while playing, couldn't change it, and it was really, really unfortunate for me. I did not like that. B, the other one is who refers, especially if the ramp camera isn't being used or can't be used, to any of the turnbuckles as southeast or northwest, etc. Like just say bottom left, closest to the announce table, whatever, bottom right, top right. And allow the instance to be done from any of the corners, any of the turnbuckles. It's just silly. So really, for me, the game mode feels way too repetitive. I don't want to be forced into a tutorial as part of my story and single player experience that I'm paying for. I already know how to play the game. The Performance Center, again, I can't stress enough how incredible a tutorial that is and how it gets you through every mechanic in the game and is a wonderful onboarding experience. So you don't need it in the showcase mode at all. You should only ever force, in my opinion, you should only ever force players to do objectives when you're going to cut to a slingshot mechanic or a cutscene. If you're cutting to a cutscene, then I can understand you have to throw them into the turnbuckle and then it'll activate a cutscene. Fine, if you're going to do that, I'll accept that, but don't have any other objectives. Like, this was silly in this match having to get a signature. So it's like the first objective is, yeah, we're going to ask you to do a signature right away, but you're not going to have one. You're going to spend 20 minutes trying to get one. And heaven forbid they reverse your signature and then you got to start from scratch. Wasn't crazy about that. Stop repeating the same objectives over and over. How many times and how many matches do I have to do a light striking combo over and over? Hit X, 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 and then X again. Okay, now we're going to do it with A at the end. Hit X, 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 and A. I understand you're trying to teach players the mechanics of the game, but again, the Performance Center does that incredibly well. For players who know how to play the game, doing this all through the entire WrestleMania showcase was horrible. I hated it. I did not like it. It was so repetitive, and I just didn't like it. I just really hate the fact that there is content locked behind this 4 to 6 hour grind fest that's not fun for me at all. And I know a lot of players echo my sentiment from the live stream I did with it. Some players enjoyed it, but the majority were in my camp that it's very repetitive. It's like getting a Google Maps. It's like in 5 minutes, do a tombstone. Like in 400 meters, do a tombstone pile driver. It wasn't fun. Crossplay would really help with the multi-console problem, because an issue I have is now that I have the game on PC and Xbox, I'm going to have to do this all over again on Xbox. And can you imagine if my save file corrupts and I would have to do this like a third time or a fourth time? Like, no, thank you. Please stop locking content behind this. I have the deluxe edition. I should be able to just unlock everything if I want to and not have to play this mode at all. I appreciate that you want to get everybody into the showcase, but if you're going to do that, you got to make it a lot more fun, because this was not a fun 4.5 hour grind for me to get through it. Videos up on the stream. I went through the entire showcase with chat. At least I had chat there, made it a lot more entertaining, but the mode itself was not fun. We used to have an accelerator unlocker that wasn't behind a huge paywall. You just pay $2 for it, or you got it with your deluxe edition or whatever, or with your season pass, and it unlocked everything. And that was great. And then you could just go and play the game how you wanted. I personally would be fine if they got rid of the slingshot mechanic entirely as well, and just played out the cutscenes in the game, because the graphics now have come to a point where they're so awesome. And when the camera angle would just change, when it had a camera cut, I noticed it looked like it was almost going to a cutscene, but it was just for the move, and it looked great, right? It looked really great. And, we could have the whole game mode like that. Like, we don't need these slingshot mechanics. If you want to keep them in, that's fine. Make that the only time I have an objective in the match, and then just let me play the match the way I want. Just let me have fun with it. I really don't understand what they were thinking this year. I think we need a huge change to showcase mode if it's going to continue moving forward, because this is way too repetitive. It wasn't fun for me to play at all. After the first couple matches, it was just the same repetitive. All right, I know how to do light strike combos. That's great. I know how to do a weak and medium and whatever grapple, and how to, it's fine. Again, the Performance Center does it better. It's a better way to have your training mode, and I don't know, man. This mode, it moved me the wrong way. I didn't enjoy the 6 hours, and I'm terrified now if my save file corrupts that I might not want to play this game at all anymore, knowing that I would have to go and do it again. I already don't really want to play on Xbox now, because I don't want to have to do this 4 to 6 hours again. There's no quick way of just getting through it. I'd much rather just have my $2 accelerator and unlock everything and not have to do this mode again. We already have cross community creations, so why can't I have a cross save? So if I've done this on PC, I can have that save over to my Xbox profile, and I can link them, and that way I can have the mode done on that. So anyways, Dubious Ones, these are just my takes. Let me know your comments down below. What did you think of the showcase? Am I out to lunch? Was this the most fun game mode ever? Or is it really repetitive and boring, and you don't enjoy a training simulator and having your training wheels on, forcing you to do mechanic A, B, or C in 21 different matches? Like, I just didn't enjoy it, and I hate that all this content's locked behind it. There's no way I would have played this beyond match 3 if there wasn't all this content locked behind it. And that's the problem. The mode should be fun. The problem shouldn't be that there's content locked behind it. It should be a fun experience that I want to play again and that I want to try again. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be the other way around, where it's like you're forced into playing it because of the locked stuff, and it's not fun at all. But those are just my suggestions to 2K. Hopefully someone out there is listening and they take this feedback as because this mode has a lot of potential. I would have loved playing through these matches. And if you want to have the slingshot mechanic and you force me into doing an Irish whip into a turnbuckle, or doing a clothesline, once or twice in a match and that's it, just one or two objectives at certain points, fine. But then let me play the game the way I want to play it the rest of the time. But that's just one man's opinion. Dubious ones, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. I want to know your feedback, so let me know in the comments below what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Again, all we need to do is hit 2,000 subscribers by March the 31st, and I'll be giving away 3 copies of the game. And if by some miracle, we really pump those numbers up and we get to 3,000 subscribers by then, I will upgrade all 3 of those copies to the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition for you guys out there. But I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Dubious one, see you next time. Deuces.